Hey, welcome to the Brewgooders Brew Age Outlaws Wrestling Podcast. So almost me Stu are here because we're the wrestling geeks that are on the Brewgooders Podcast. So normally, every Thursday we chat beer and comics and a sort of geekery. But every so often we will chat wrestling or football or something other nonsense. But yeah, it's wrestling. It's Wrestlemania week. So myself and Stu are going to open up a beer and start chatting about what we think is going to happen at Wrestlemania. So, you're right, Stu. That was quite a good intro.
Yes, exactly. Off the cuff, and yeah, and then it's off the cuff. It's
I've got ChatGPT. I went. Don't tell Colin, but I got ChatGPT and made them type in podcast intro with bullet points.
You fed it information about the podcast, information about you and me, and then it spat this out.
Yes. It did say you were beautiful, but I don't know why. Right.
That sounds like a good
probably just pulled all the other information about you on the internet and was just like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I Googled myself once, and there's like a politician with my name, unfortunately.
Oh, there's another Geoff Nicholson that writes comics. If you can believe that, it's not exactly the most.
It could only be one.
Well, there's like an American one who's actually probably more famous than I am.
Could we not make the Geoff Nicholson interviews Geoff Nicholson podcast? Can we not get him?
The Clyde, where they yeah, I'll reach out. I think his stuff's quite sexy. So I don't know, We've done it on the podcast before where on the podcast before we brought a guest on and then realised that they're quite their stuff maybe isn't in our ballpark, and it's just been a bit okay. So drinking the same beer. We are. I like it when we do this. So obviously me and Stu both went to Aldi this week and picked up a
Fierce beer surprise.
Yeah, so you picked up 4, didn't you? And then
I
went in.
Each time I go in, I try and grab 2 that I haven't tried before, because you go there and there's that many different ones, and it's quite easy to fall behind when Williams Brews and Fierce Beer, Loch Lomond are constantly churning out new drinks, and you think, yeah, I've tried all this stuff, but then you go in and it's I've hardly tried any of this stuff, and some of it's seasonal, like summer beers and winter beers, and then your time's up and they're gone. You've missed the clearance.
Yeah.
So I'm actively picking up 2 beers every time I go shopping in Aldi's.
Yeah, I don't tend to go. I don't tend to just. I don't know. I just hadn't thought about it. So when I went to Aldi's today, I just assumed that the 4 that you would grab would be the same 4 that I could probably pick up. And then when I got there, there was a completely different set of. I mean, there was about 3 or 4 different fierce beers, and then there was a bunch of other ones. But the cloud cover hazy IPA was the only one that was and it's a bit of a banger, to be honest. Small batch, 7.4%. Don't know how many more beers I can have after this one. But
this will do the trick.
I must apologise. I'm looking at my picture and it's I don't know if I've caught up on myself yet, but I'm a bit laggy. I don't think my audio's an issue, but I think my picture's a bit laggy. It's fine. Just close your eyes and imagine me.
I was going to make drinking the beer a little bit harder, but I'm going for it.
Fucking asshole! I didn't even think that was. I thought I didn't realize you were going to do that.
Let's.
Oh yeah, it's got that extra kick to it,
Oh, there's kind of a mixture of flavors straight away.
It's got that yeah. So it's quite zesty. It's supposed to be layers of zesty, pithy flavor. What's pithy? Is pithy not so like when I think of somebody being pithy, I think of them being a bit shit.
All right, I was like being a bit of a smart arse.
Or no, it's called because the rest of it is finishing with a cumulus soft texture, so it's maybe a cloud thing.
Possibly. It does like say soft, juicy, and bittersweet. I'm definitely getting that bittersweet aftertaste. So
yeah, it's got that like I don't know, it's a Citra and Mandarina, but hops, Bavaria hops. I don't know. It reminds me of like a double IPA, which is like, yeah,
it's encroaching on that, so it's reaching for it.
Totally nice,
so,
dark.
Yeah, it is actually quite nice.
That's some good beer.
My 30 beer, fierce beer glasses.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, the one in Edinburgh is like one of your favourite bars, eh? So.
Yes, I supported their crowdfund. They're planning on going all green at their brewery, so they done like a big crowdfunder. It wasn't a Kickstarter, but a crowdfunder, and they were giving you like a return on your investment. So if you put in 50 quid, you would get 75 back, but as like store credit.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
And you get a discount card. It was like I think you're supposed to get a fierce discount card that gets you 10% off for life, either in their bars or online. So we'll just get like just this little wee card with my name on it, and anytime I'm at Fierce Bars, I could use it for a cheeky discount and also use my bar credit. So that's bro. I've chipped in twice because I have more money than sense, and now I have no money. So, but I will have beer. So
yeah, it's as good as
I could strike my problems away.
I probably talk about it on Thursday as well, but I went to Edinburgh on Saturday and just overindulged in all the beers. It was great. I had
sounds good.
A Tiny Rebels Easy Living IPA, a wee taste of like a cherry Belgian beer, which was interesting.
Is that like
it was pretty
who done that? It was right away in my head. I think like Bacchus, like the type you would get for like Morrison's, like the paper wrap.
Potentially, I don't know. But I was in that Mortal Cocktails, the pinball place.
Oh again, yeah. I remember you talking about that.
So, it was cool. And then I went to this Super Mario themed cocktail bar and had a mushroom cocktail, which was it was interesting. And then the last pub I was in had Joker IPA on tap, so you don't see Joker IPA on tap all that much anymore. So good bit of Williams Brother. So
yeah,
Williams Brother did Joker IPA.
That's right. Yep. I think what was it? It was like the Black Rose or the Black Thorn bar, something that was on Rose Street, and that they were the ones that had Joker on tap. I remember going in looking for.
It was in Bannerman's and then Legends, and they were nice. In the Cowgate. So yeah, that was good.
Yes, aye. I've been to Bannerman's a couple times now, and it's almost become like, this is definitely. If I'm in the area, like definitely pop in here for a pint or keep an eye out for what live gigs they've got, because that's I've managed to see some old like Iron Maiden lead singers there, and to be honest, I would go back if I knew what, like, even if it's a Green Day tribute band, okay, it'll probably be good.
Yeah, that's good, man. I was there and it was full of so we'll get to the wrestling chat in a couple minutes. I was there.
And the wrestling podcast and don't talk about wrestling.
I know, sorry. There was a full squad of about, I want to say 20. It's like a stag / Hindu kind of combo, and they were all dressed like golfers. When I went in, my mates were waiting for me there, and they were just like, "These guys are mad." So I was chatting to a few of them, and then I went to the toilet, and when I came back, the pub was empty. And apparently, in like the 4 minutes that I'd gone to the toilet, and if you go to Bannerman's, it's like it's kind of cavernous, isn't it? So you have to kind of wander through places. So I ended up wandering to the toilet, and by the time I came back, the place was empty, and it turned out that like one of the guys that we'd been and his girlfriend that we'd been speaking to, she'd said something sectarian, and it just erupted, and like the place was cleared out apart from my mate and my mates. So when I got back there, they were just standing at the bar going, "Where have you been?" I actually think they were a bit unsure if I'd actually made the call and been kicked out alongside the golfer. It's mad, quite mad. But music's like Bannerman's great. Music's good. Like we were doing that whole thing. They were kept like banger after banger was coming on, and it was like holding your phone up into the air to try and work out, getting like the Shazam to work out what you were listening to. And so it was good. Yeah. Bit of trivia on my bit of Machine Head. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So, yeah. Anyway, right. Sorry.
It's fine. Let's
correct me on Thursday if I start telling that story again. Okay. So yes. So I thought it'd be fun if when we did this, we went through every match at Wrestlemania XL night 1 and 2, and we would talk about the. I thought it'd be quite funny if we did like where am I going? Get my prompt up. Yeah, so I thought it'd be quite funny if we did like a scoring system between you and me, and anybody that wanted to join in. I don't suppose anyone does, but if you're drop me a message or drop a comment with your predictions. I'll add it to the spreadsheet. Make it fun. But yeah, so I thought three points for a victory if you correctly predict a match. Obviously, 0 points if you incorrectly predict a match, and 0 points if it just to keep it easy because it's wrestling. So they might, I know Stone Cold might show up and they might accidentally they might create a new match, or they might like introduce a surprise tag team to a match or something, or all the impromptu stuff. So
stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Yes, and then I also thought right at the end we could do. I said 2, maybe one's more achievable, but like a fantasy booking where like something that's not advertised to happen, because WrestleMania is amazing for its surprises. So something that's not advertised to happen and something that we want to see happen, that would like if it ends up happening, extra 5 points.
Okay.
That'd be quite cool. So I did this before for me and Tom and Andrew, and it worked quite well. Let's see if I can do this. I would say it worked quite well. Andrew was ripping me because of my PowerPoint skills. So yeah, I found out quite painfully, not painfully, but I found out that you can't put pictures of WWE stuff up on, otherwise Facebook will not Facebook, but YouTube will like totally come gunning for you and like blur all your videos out if you've got copyright images. Apparently anything that WWE put out is copyright unless like you took it. If you were at an event and you photographed it.
Yeah, aye.
So I apologise in advance for this very unexciting podcast, unexciting PowerPoint.
Oh God.
I know. Sorry. But yeah, and for the shitty writing, but it's just for prompts for me. So this is, I've organised it by night 1 and 2, but I don't know what the match order will be. So I've tried to like.
I think it has been announced, but you've got your system. Let's not fuck with it.
Oh, have they announced the match order?
Yeah, well, or what is happening on night 1 and what is happening on night 2?
Yeah. I've done it by night, but I haven't done it by.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah. But and then I played around with it because like the website I took it off of had like the main events at the top of each night, and obviously those will be the last matches on the nights. So I've tried to shuffle about to make it even more interesting. But yes, the first match I had was Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which I think is going to be an absolute banger.
Yes, I'll preface this by saying my WWE knowledge could be inaccurate because I haven't watched WWE properly since I was going to say SummerSlam last year, but I did watch the Royal Rumble. I've more or less fallen into the state of watching the Big Four, and that's it. And the rest I'll catch up with on YouTube, either through like WWE's YouTube page or Botchamania's YouTube page.
I love Matthew. I listened to a podcast on a Friday called Cutaholic, and Matthew, who is the Botchamania guy, is the host of the podcast. He's brilliant. He's just like such a funny dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, like obviously Gunther's been a WWE Intercontinental Champion for fucking ages, like the longest standing one ever now. And I think my understanding is that this wasn't supposed to be the planned match. I think Gunther, and I wouldn't even mention names, but Gunther was supposed to be wrestling somebody else at WrestleMania, but they're a wrong'un and they're no longer associated with the WWE. So they've had to shuffle. Yeah, they've had to shuffle this. So I think Sami Zayn wasn't the original choice. And I think the fans' choice is the really good Olympian guy whose name has just...
Shorty G.
Chad Gable, exactly.
Yes.
So, I think Chad Gable's the fans' opinion, is the fans' choice, but I know he's involved in the stories now with this, and he took Sami Zayn through a training montage on Raw last night, and it was very funny.
Oh, okay.
So if you can catch that on YouTube, it was good.
The only part I saw of that, it was more or less Gunther murdering both Sami and Chad, just chopping them to death. I think I don't know. My heart wants Sami to win this and be like the Giant Killer, because Sami's awesome, and I think his he'll get one of the bigger crowd reactions on Saturday, because everybody loves him and everybody loves his ring entrance. So yes, aye. But I mean, the same could be said for both of them. Really, they both have they've perfected the ring entrance, and I mean, Sami's has that great song where everyone kind of gets into it as well. But I don't know. I always feel like it's the big pay-per-view. It's the perfect time for a change, and this is us the big season finale. Let's reset things and start it anew. So I would like to see Sami win.
So your heart says Sami, but what does your betting stew say?
I think, and then I just think, well, he'll probably just get chopped to fucking death. And
get chopped to fuck.
There's part of me is like, surely this has to become a triple threat at some point. But they've now ran out of time. It's like they're not going to bring them into SmackDown.
Yeah,
I just felt like the storyline was leading towards Chad Gable getting in on the action, but God, I would love just this. Sami's been a fucking workhorse, and I guess he got the tag titles to show for it, but he deserves a singles belt.
He does.
Oh,
yeah, he absolutely does. And it's just I just don't think it's Gunther. I don't think I think if you'd maybe had Sami up against Logan Paul, we might have had a banger match. Have they wrestled before? Has Sami and Logan been wrestled?
No, it's
I think
I think we would remember that.
Yeah, I think so. It was Sami and I think if it was Sami Logan on Saturday, I would be like, oh, Sami all the way. I don't think this is the time to take it off Gunther, to be honest. I think Gunther is too good. I
think it's got to be like Ace Ventura style, like one of those montages where he's on the back of Gunther with a chloroform rag.
Yeah, totally.
The referee's been he chloroforms the referee first so he could get away with it. Then
and then they bring another one out who hasn't seen.
Yeah, Gunther. It takes a good 10 minutes, but eventually he's out, and then Chad runs it with the referee strip on.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I would like 1,000 points if that happens. By the way,
okay, I think you get 1 points. I think you do.
Yeah,
you just win everything. So are you going for Gunther or Sami?
Got to be Sami. I have to go with my heart with this. That's why I make no money on Sky Bet.
Yes, I do love Sami, and that's I don't even think you could call it a sleeper hit, but I think that'll be one of the better matches this weekend. I think it'll just be Sami getting thrown around and slapped about like nobody's business. And
Yeah, it's just proper underdog stuff.
yeah,
Because I
exactly.
mean, last year it was almost just like 3 mirror images. You had like Gunter, you had Sheamus, and you had Drew, and it just
Yeah. Oh, that was a great match, though. Wasn't it? That was just
it
like
was.
meet mayhem. It was brilliant. It was just
Mhm.
big beefy men being big and beefy. I loved it. It was
Yeah,
that was
exactly. Like, sure, like I think it was an AEW audience last year that kind of came up with just the chant "meat" every time two big meaty guys were fighting, and it was like meat mania, wasn't it? They just took over, but
yeah.
like that could
I think
easily
there was
happen.
supposed to be a meet. Was not supposed to be a meat mania match, and then it got cancelled. So
Yes, it did.
meat mania, absolutely amazing. Right, we could be here all night. Okay.
Wait, what was yours?
Oh, I am going Gunther.
Okay,
I'm betting with my head. I think the undisputed
very good.
WWE Tag Team Championship 6-pack ladder match. Now this is I didn't really know how to score this, but you'll just get 3 points if any of these teams win any of the belts, because I think it was announced yesterday on Raw that the match is officially the belts are getting hung up separately,
Right.
and the match isn't over until both pairs of straps have come off the roof. So like
Okay.
I think that's just a backdoor way of separating them again. So you would, if that makes sense. So you would have like if one team
Right.
maybe. So in theory, like one team could like unhook both straps, both
Hmm.
sets of straps, sorry, and be like the Judgment Day are undisputed. But I think, and if I'm
This is
wrong,
a
like you
way
can,
to.
I think it's a way to
All
separate
right.
it.
Interesting.
I think
Okay.
so. I think for the easiness of points, we'll just say that like if any of our chosen team,
Well, what is it? Is it
yeah,
6 teams?
6 teams. So you've got the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who are the current champions. The Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. The New Day, DIY,
Well, why
Catch
don't you
Republic.
pick 3 and I pick 3, but we can't pick the
Oh,
same?
okay. An event. Oh, that's okay. Right, you pick one then. We'll do it like these guys are all standing in a line at gym class, and we're
Okay. The Judgment Day.
okay. I'll take DIY.
Choice. New Catch Republic.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they're just that wee Brit inside me that wants to see somebody
Yeah.
for this island win.
So JD CR. I'm doing my thing. I've got who did I say? DIY. I think the other team that would win would be the Awesome Truth, who I actually am not a massive fan of. But I think I'm kind of exactly what you're saying about Sammy. I think R-Truth has been incredible this year and needs a.
It's like consistently great. I'd have
It's
to
New Day
go
and
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller because the New Day have had the belts enough.
yeah.
So,
I think that's it. I think
those two cocky pricks could win it, and it could just be the chance where it's like, oh, someone really good's going to win it. But they've managed to push them off the ladder and take the belt. So
that's fair enough. I think it's going to be mad. I think it's maybe on the wrong night. I would maybe argue that you should have this as night 2 because for the last couple, I've felt anyway for the last couple of WrestleManias, night 1's been amazing, and night 2 has maybe not been as amazing. So I say Stuart McPherson's getting in it. Stuart, I will try and take a note of your stuff and add it to our spreadsheet, but if you could maybe do it. Well, send me all your picks. That'd be amazing. We'd love to have you on the. We'd love to have you on the prediction list. Might even buy us a wee title or something, like a kid's title, and go over it in Biro or something. Awesome. No, I think that as I say, I think maybe this is in the wrong night. I think you could have shuffled this onto Sunday and maybe put the street fight on Saturday. But
I mean, it would probably be like a great opener on the Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. I think even for that live crowd, like we talked about this before. Like it's going to be, like for most folk going to Philadelphia that weekend, that's going to be like your 5th day potentially of pro wrestling, and you'll be tired and burnt out, and it may just be the way to boost it back up. Yeah, it'll be a good match though. I'm really excited. I have my fantasy booking pick. I've written it down. It's already in the spreadsheet. My fantasy pick is that at one point R-Truth's going to try and hook up the He's going to take Damian Priest's briefcase and try and hook it back up. And just like in one of those doesn't quite understand the rules of the match.
Yeah, aye. Because hasn't he done that? Something similar where he climbed the ladder and got to the top and was like, "Where's the briefcase?"
Oh, it was a Royal Rumble, wasn't it? He went in for the Royal Rumble and brought a ladder out. And
right, yeah, that was it. Yeah, because that as well as looking for the hot tag during the Rumble.
He entered the Women's Rumble last year as well, didn't he?
Yes, and it was like, "Where's all the guys at?"
That annoyed me. That annoyed me because it was made to look like R-Truth was stupid. Like actually, that completely boiled my piss when it happened because it was obviously the joke. Well, the joke is that R-Truth looks stupid, yeah. Mm-hmm. But when he came out and did when he ran out and did the his music was playing. So like, unless he's like in charge of his own music, like his music played and he went,
ran through Gorilla, hit a button to play his music. Everyone tried to stop him.
That always total boiled me. I was like, "Is music played though?" Like, I think if you're hovering around like backstage and you hear your music, you're going to go out. So actually, he's made to look stupid rather than was stupid himself. So I was annoyed by that. Okay, sorry. Next match. My fantasy book. Before we move on to the next match, my fantasy booking is he's going to do something with Damian Priest's briefcase. Either do it's like King of the Mountain where you have to try and hook it back up.
Oh yeah, it was like the opposite Money in the Bank.
Yeah, something like that. I think he'll do something silly with Damian Priest's briefcase. Is one of my fantasy picks. Okay, so Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, which not bothered.
This is probably the right. No, I guess it's the right time for them to do it. I feel like it's something we've expected to happen for a while.
It's just not amazing when it does happen. They've never really had like an amazing match as a brothers, which is I know.
I feel Jay is so incredibly over compared to Jimmy, so I would say it's him. He gets it. Sure, Jimmy was funny in the Rumble, trying to make alliances and getting battered by everyone, but so and just all that yeet nonsense as well. So I would see Jay being over unless there's interference, unless Solo comes out with a very, very sturdy thumb and just comes in, does the wee poke, and but
I can see that. I can see that happening though. Just to keep the bloodline on top. I don't. So that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that. I was just going to go Jay through default. I don't know if you were as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it.
I just don't want to bother about that. It might be probably of all them. So maybe my bottom two in terms of excitement. So okay. Again, sorry for everyone that's just watching my really crap PowerPoint. Should I just minimize it and just do it in my own thing?
It depends. Do people want to look at us or the PowerPoint's fine? It's good for me because I'm discovering matches.
We've got 16 folk watching us just now. So PowerPoint or no PowerPoint, and I'll keep it up until we get a consensus.
Yeah, you've got that Microsoft audience tuning in. I love MS Office.
So we've got Jay Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control, which is Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. So I think that's going to be quite fun. Again, I think it's quite an obvious. I don't know. It's not that obvious actually because Asuka and Kairi Sane are the tag team champions, aren't they? So
yes.
But Jade Cargill, I think they'll just have her do a hot tag and obliterate everyone and send the crowd, let the crowd get a win.
Maybe, yeah. I guess that they probably want Jade just to go from strength to strength. So giving her a WrestleMania victory straight away, it's almost like rewind it back to when they cashed in fully on Bianca Belair. Of course, they're going to like shoot her to the moon. So it's probably wise that they haven't done the Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah,
This is probably the better first Mania match for Jade.
yeah, I think so. I think it's quite easy.
I'm a big Asuka fan, so I would have loved her to go over. But
I think it'll be Jade's team winning by Jade pinning Dakota Kai. I think it's probably like obviously. I think like we're not picking like particulars like that, but I think that's probably how you book that.
Yeah, Asuka doesn't get pinned in this match.
No, she doesn't. Yeah.
So
No, either be Kai and Dakota. I see Jade doing the pin as well.
Yeah.
So, we'll just
So,
go,
yeah.
Are you going with that? I think that'll be a good fun match, though. I think that'll be like a little barn burner in the middle of the show. That's just like, get a good entrance for Jade,
and that's it. Yeah, you've got Naomi back, and it's
she'll do the light show thing as well, and that'll be good fun.
Yeah, there'll probably be glow sticks everywhere, and
yeah, cool, right. The LWO versus who are Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic and Santos. That's again maybe like in my bottom tier of interest, which is a shame. I think their story's quite interesting though. Like the whole thing with Dominic being pals now with Santos Escobar.
I'm not familiar with it, but I do like Dragon Lee. I remember his like New Japan stuff, like especially that horrific match with him and Hiromu, where he accidentally broke Hiromu's neck. Forgetting Hiromu's second name, but he was fighting Dragon Lee when it happened. So I always thought Dragon, like, even if it's just a case of it's a cool name, he does sound like someone from like a Bruce Exploitation movie.
He's great. Dragon Lee is amazing. Like I saw his stuff in New Japan. Excellent wrestler. I think he's the current like new Mysterio. You know, every couple of years they'll bring another mask guy in to appeal to kids, and this guy's genuinely got chops. So
yes, he is.
It's not like they brought in like when they brought in Sin Cara and then had to replace him because he was rubbish.
Oh, but they gave him such a convoluted entrance. Like you gave him a trampoline and gave him his own special light, and
I like the light. The trampoline had every chance of going wrong.
Yeah, it just gave so much footage for Botchamania.
Yeah, exactly. Kept them on jobs really well.
Exactly. Like good guys.
I want Dominic to win. Like I love Dirty Dom. Like he's probably that's one of those I would just like. I actually think they probably need to win more than Ray does as well. For the benefits of the story.
I guess that does make sense. I'm not really familiar with Santos Escobar at all. I do remember his name from like the NXT days, but
he's good. He's good. He's massive, and he's I think he's got a big future ahead of him. So
So
what are you thinking?
Yeah,
you thinking Dom? You thinking Santos? You thinking Ray?
Yeah, I probably like you need to have some heels win. Like because I think so far all my picks have been pretty like babyface. Adjacent. So you have to mix up. You can't have the good guys win every match.
Tactical voting, love it. Okay, and then
God, yes.
Okay, so we've got this. I don't know this will headline WrestleMania because we've got the women's title match, which I want to headline. But yeah, if Rhodes and so we've got the match that if Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside during Rhodes' match against Reigns on Sunday. But if the Bloodline win, the title will be a Bloodline rules match. So it's Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I feel it's gonna have to be Rock and Roman Reigns in the
Has
sense
to be, I
that
think.
yeah, I feel like it's I keep using the word underdog, but for like Cody Rhodes, I feel like he has to overcome every
Yeah.
like sort of roadblock that's in his way. Like he can't just we won, so like it's going to be easy for me tomorrow's night because no one's going to
Yeah.
come near. It's like nah, you need the whole
Nah,
family. I mean, you're going to have Cody Rhodes, like whacking
yeah.
Rikishi with a steel chair. They're going to go through the whole bloodline coming down the
Oh,
ramp. So
yeah, I think so. I think so. They booked them, not booked themselves into a corner, but they made it. They kind of signposted the result of this one. I think it has to be exact. It has to be Rock and Roman.
yeah, and it's almost like a great cliffhanger to like a TV show. Like not like obviously everyone that's going to be watching WrestleMania is going to be checking out both nights. There's never going to be a thing that I'll watch the first night and see if it grabs
Yeah,
me. But it's like, oh, the baddies have won. The odds are stacked in their favor. I'm gonna have to see what happens to Cody to see if he could do it.
yeah,
So I feel like it's going to leave you on that cliffhanger hook of thinking, crap, he's fucked.
yeah.
What are we gonna do? How is he gonna overcome this? Um, so unless he's got like chloroform in a rag, how is he gonna do this?
Chloroform mania.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think exactly the same thing.
mhm.
I think when you're talking about your soap opera as well, I think you have The Rock with the pin. So that if what I hope happens on Sunday, because at the moment, like The Rock's doing this whole final boss malarkey,
I
which I
know
quite I
it
like it, but he's
works.
not the final boss because but then Roman's the final boss because he's the champ.
I guess, but I feel like it's just like a cool angle or like a new gimmick for him
Oh
that he could kind of latch onto. And that Raw last week, where it was so like so cinematic, the fact that they're fighting outside and it's raining, and
yeah,
he was just it was like he was cutting a promo and kicking his head in at the same time, like cutting a promo to Cody's mum and just constantly
yeah,
throwing Cody into the side of his own bus. Um, it was just it was like perfect to kind of sell the feud. Um,
yeah.
so
I think you have The Rock pin Cody, um, and then that then sets up the idea that like whatever happens on Sunday, and I don't want to
mhm.
spoil what happens on Sunday. You do then have a situation where The Rock is the
Goldust
final.
shows up with a chloroform rag.
Oh well, yeah,
Listen to me.
but yeah,
He
yeah.
just
I think
takes out the bloodline one by one throughout, like between every match and comical backstage skits.
oh yeah, I love that. Like that
Mhm.
WrestleMania with all the hardcore skits. It's just like,
Yeah.
aye,
So that's how I'm
okay,
picturing it happens.
yeah, okay.
It's either that or it's the cloud cover talking.
But yeah, I think it's going down quite well. It might be that.
This is actually a really good beer.
Yeah, it is, man. Okay, women's championship match. Rhea Ripley champion versus Becky Lynch.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think it's Rhea's time. I think personally, I think Rhea is going to walk out women's champion. She's just too good. She's too
Yeah,
hot.
too much
Got
momentum.
yeah,
And yeah, Becky's like scrappy. She's definitely all bring a fight to her, but I don't know. I haven't seen the build to it. I've only just saw a clip of it was like a podcast that is it Ariel someone
yes.
and
The one that
he
Punk was
was
on as well, wasn't
yes I think it was like the same show and he must have been interviewing Rhea and then Becky crashed the set and they had to reset the show and quickly drag them away from each other ready to have a go there and then. Um, no, I think I feel like Rhea's just too dominating at the moment. I feel like
it? I think
she'll
so too.
be able to beat Becky. Like she'll put up a fight, but eventually, in that,
Yeah,
I could kind of
exactly.
see Rhea like I was gonna say beating the four horsewomen, but it's just because like she bet Charlotte to get that title in the first place.
Yeah. I think exactly. I just think it's not our time, and I'm not sure. Big Daddy H loves the whole long title reign thing, and I think she's just.
Yes, aye.
I just don't think. I'm actually quite surprised it's Becky that's wrestling her. I think they could have put Becky in something else, but yeah. But I also think she's good enough that she can take a loss, and you wouldn't think any
Yeah,
less
you
of
wouldn't
her.
think less of her, of course.
And what else was I going to say? Yeah, the build to the match has been all right, but I don't know. Like, I think WrestleMania, and again, correct me in the comments or whatever, but I thought I feel like WrestleMania should have been the weekend that's just gone past. It's usually like
I kind of have noticed it like pop up in like Facebook memories, like watching WrestleMania. So it's like it has sort of passed. It always usually is, well, the first weekend in April, but this one's just
well, the 31st. Yeah, the 31st was the Sunday, wasn't it? So yeah.
aye.
But
So
I feel like they're in the particular their storyline's been it's been a week too long. That podcast that happened, I think, was probably quite a good blow off for them, in like a go home way. And
yeah,
so when I watched Raw yesterday, it was effectively just the same. It was just a pull apart brawl. We've seen that hundreds of times where it was like hundreds of security guards, and Becky still manages to like dive over the top of them to get to Rhea and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it'll be a good match. I just think Rhea will win. So that's night one. So we're night two. We're on Sunday, which I think historically is has been the weaker of the two nights when they do since we've moved into the 2 night era. But this Sunday's build, the matches for this Sunday are pretty exciting all through. So you got AO Sky versus this year's Royal Rumble winner Bailey.
okay.
I think Bailey will win.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost not underestimating EO Sky, but I feel like it's almost an easy win for Bailey. Again,
it ties up her storyline as well, doesn't it? Because she got kicked out of Damage Control and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So.
Aye. So unless Damage Control get involved, but I don't know. I like to see Royal Rumble winners then successfully go on to win their belts at Mania.
I would quite like Bailey to bring back the guys.
Oh yeah, the big inflatable dudes. But she murdered them. She
did murder them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, she can't just buy more.
No.
Yeah, I would like that. I think that would be. I don't know if they'll do that. I don't think the storyline is suggesting that in any way. I think Bailey's
hugging everyone in this post-pandemic world.
Yeah, but yeah. I think it's an easy win for Bailey. I think you said the same. So
yeah,
it's a nice title change as well. Like it's a feel good title change. So
yeah, I don't think we've seen Bailey with like a belt for a while now as well.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, and like you said, we've then got the United States Championship triple threat match between Logan Paul, Captain Prime versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. So
yeah, like just reading this, it makes me think of these are three guys that we can't leave off of the WrestleMania card, so let's put them in a triple threat.
Yeah, it's definitely that sort of like random. Exactly what you just said. That sort of random match where they all the good guys need to go in somewhere. It's always mind when it was the one that always comes to mind where it was Batista versus Umaga one year.
Okay.
And it was just like, and it was booked simply as like, I can remember it booked and being like, oh, like, and it was quite clever at the time. It was just basically like, William Regal, who was like GM of Raw, was just like open challenge. I want anybody from SmackDown to challenge Umaga, and then general manager Vicky Guerrero, I think it was at the time, she was like in her office, and Batista just walked in raging and was like, "Yeah, I'm representing SmackDown," and then walked back out, and she didn't even, I don't know if this is ever misremembering the segment, but he walked out, and then it was like as the door was closing, she kind of went, okay. It's just like, but it was exactly that. It was shit. We've not got a match for Umaga or Batista yet. Let's just have a meet mountain match, and it was good. I remember it being maybe a wee bit short, but just two big, massive, really decent wrestlers like hitting each other. Really
definitely.
So that's kind of what I'm getting from this. I think I don't know, because it's for the title. I think that changes up a bit. Like,
yeah,
I would want Kevin Owens to win that in my heart.
Like, he's been consistently also a great wrestler for them as well, and I always feel like he doesn't get enough belts. But again, it's like the same. It's the Sammy situation, because both of them got the tag team titles last year. So, and to be honest, I always want Kevin Owens to win the big one, but it's too crowded. Like, there's no way that he's going to get that close to the front.
It's the strongest main event scene in a long time, isn't it? Like the main event scene / upper mid card, where obviously Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are headliners, but they're not. They're in the mid card at the moment because that upper echelon is so crowded. And
it's the same like Intercontinental title. Like, it's an impossible belt to pry from Gunter's hands. So like their upper like mid card titles are becoming more prestigious now. This is like back in the days where they used to be like hot potatoes and they would get passed around like a 24/7 title, but those days are gone. So I feel like it's time for Paul to drop the belt. Like, through no fault of his. Oh, no, it probably will be him getting pinned.
I think it'll be Logan.
He could get RKO'd. Like, it could be like an RKO, and then Kev just throws Orton out of the ring and quickly jumps on, pins.
Yeah, I think exactly the same. Like an RKO, and then turn into the big. Is it the brass knucks that Logan Paul uses? I think it's like that. Like RKO to Kevin Owens, turns around, gets decked in the face, and been pinned, or pop up power bomb, turning, getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or
Randy
like
Orton. Randy Orton.
Exactly. If Orton does like an RKO, pops back up for like the pin, and then it suddenly gets a stunner and just bounces out of the ring. But it's almost to the point where, like, God, even Kevin and Randy don't even need like a title run nowadays.
I don't think Randy does. I think think Kevin needs it. I think Kevin could do with a belt. It's been a wee while.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a really good US champ as well, but I just don't think Logan Paul's going to drop it yet. I think somebody told me, and I can't remember where it was, or I'd read it somewhere, that one of the upcoming pay-per-views is in Logan's hometown. So,
okay. I thought you were going to say KSI was going to show up with a chloroform rag. But...
I was, but
like,
I assumed that you had that in the show notes already. So
like last year's Mania spot where he showed up in a giant bottle of Prime, only to be he took a frog splash from someone.
Oh yeah. It was
Did he fight last year?
What was that one? Was that the one as well where did Logan Paul not get slammed through a table and then KSI threw a bottle of Prime at him? Was that WrestleMania last year?
Yeah, aye.
It was mad. Like, it's quite funny. Like, I didn't realize how influential Logan Paul was in the world, because I just knew him as like
Prime guy,
some YouTube guy, and then obviously like he's the YouTuber that brought out Prime, but then like. My sonny, 8-year-old, absolutely obsessed with Prime. Like, he has like the list of all the ones he's got and all the ones he still needs and all that sort of stuff.
God, yeah.
And I think that's just all young people. Like, we went to Asda when Sonny was like the new one that come out. It was like Gooberberry or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Blueberry, possibly, because
I also have. And we were in Asda,
obsessed over this sugary juice for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. But we went to Asda for the Glowberry, and Sonny had to get the standard one, and then he asked the man that was stocking them if they had the limited edition one. And the guy went, and because he asked so kindly, he was just like, "Excuse me, I was wondering if you have limited edition bottles of this Prime," and like holding it up as if like he needed like a reference. And the guy went back and came out with like 2 different variations of the limited edition.
Oh, amazing.
But it was like 15 quid for the 3 of them. It was mad. I was like,
I was going to flip these for a profit, but since you asked nicely.
Yeah, just drink Monster like a regular 8-year-old. Yeah. Aye, so yeah, I think Logan Paul's got it. And Stuart's saying that. Sorry, Stuart, I am paying attention to your comments as they pop up on Twitter, formerly X, formerly Twitter. But he's got Logan Paul as well. So are we all saying Logan Paul? Yeah.
Nah. I want Owens. I want Owens to do it. Okay. Yeah.
That's how you're going to lose. That's why you're not very good at the actual betting, because you're like.
I just go for people.
You never bet for your own team on the football, eh?
Exactly. This is why there's no money involved tonight.
Yeah. What else we got? The weird, like, should have a title belt match involved in it in some way. Sort of.
Yep.
Don't know what to do with these guys because we can't put them in title matches and lose, so we'll just put them against each other.
And AJ's gotten in far too good a shape not to use them.
Yeah, and LA Knight's had a mad 2023. So
yeah, LA Knight was like last year's. I was going to say flavor of the month, but that sentence doesn't work. But
no, he was like a
the next big
for
thing.
a while, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Just yep. It's a shame. I hope they can. I don't know how they do it, but I hope they get his momentum back because I really like LA Knight, and I'm a sucker for like the Attitude Era level. You know, his promos reminded me of like The Rock and like all the good like 1998 when all the matches were shit, but the promos were amazing in WWE. That's what he reminds me of. He like. And then, unfortunately, he was like the new Rock. But then, unfortunately, the old Rock showed up, and you remembered how good the old Rock was. So you're like,
yeah.
But, I think he needs to win. I don't think AJ needs it. So
I guess I kind of want AJ to win.
Well, we all want AJ to win. I just think LA Knight needs it at this point in his career. Otherwise, he's just a serial. He just keeps losing. Obviously, he lost to Roman. He lost the Rumble.
Yeah.
He got knocked out. Yeah.
This is part of his downward trajectory, unfortunately.
Yeah. Is he going AJ, are you?
Yep.
Okay.
He's going to be. What was it? He's going to be Eli Drake before we know it.
Eli Drake.
That was on his name in TNA.
Yeah, he was Max Dupree for a bit, wasn't he? Max Dupree and
they managed to fucking squash that quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
No,
Stuart on X is saying Knight as well. So, Stuart, at the end of this, you're gonna have to copy and paste all your answers into one comment so I can sort this or not, and I'll sort it.
I've taken a screenshot.
Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, okay, and then we've got three matches left, but the one that I don't think anyone gives any nonsense. Like, this is the match that I'm like, this should be on night one, and I think they should have swapped this for the ladder match.
Okay,
but I just don't know. I don't know why this is on WrestleMania, and like the Battle Royal Andre the Giant Royal.
Yeah.
That's on SmackDown again this year. So
okay. So this Philadelphia Street Fight is clearly going to be your. Do they call it kickoff anymore?
I think it's just on the main card. I don't know. It might be on the kickoff. Actually, that's a good point.
But it feels like this is one of those matches where everyone's still trying to find their seats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just not got any interest in this one at all. It's sorry for those that are listening. It's the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, versus the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. I do not care who wins this. Obviously, I need to guess correctly for the benefit of getting 3 points, but
it's got to be Big Bobby and the Street Profits.
See, I think Testament need to win again. I think they have I think they're getting pushed as like the next Judgment Day era kind of.
Maybe. I feel like we'll never see Karrion Kross getting over.
No, it's just I didn't know him in the Indies.
No, I didn't. either.
And I know he was a bit of an indie darling, but like he's just been not very he's not been presented very well in WWE at any point. And I think he's one of Triple H's favourites, isn't he? Or he was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's because I think like he was obviously a bigger deal in NXT with like him and his wife Scarlett, but it's just it's too crowded at the front. There's no way for him to kind of properly shine. Like people with like this sort of talent and momentum just don't sit well in the mid cards. And yeah, you release them, you pick them back up, and you're still like, I've not got anywhere to put them.
It does remind me of like we talked about the Attitude Era a wee while ago, quite a few times tonight actually. But it reminds me of I watch a load of stuff on YouTube that's like revisiting old WWE and WCW pay-per-views, and they have the whole thing where it's like particularly WCW, when like their undercard is full of like top tier legends, but there's just it's such a top heavy promotion, and I don't know if I don't know like if I'm accurate or not, but it certainly feels like that's kind of what's happening in both AEW and WWE at the moment. Like they've just managed, they both, I think, very well have done a really a very good job, of building up their upper mid cards and their main eventers. But it does create like this weird space where you've got guys like Randy Orton and Sami Zayn and guys that could put in, even like, is it Jey Uso? Like, you know, he headlined a pay-per-view last year, you know.
Jey Uso.
We're just in this, we're in this situation now where like these guys, LA Knight, where they've got nowhere to go almost. And then over in AEW with the same thing, you know, you've got so many top tier guys, and you know, and they're quite good at like building guys up as well. So you've now got, I think, Orange Cassidy and Edge and Adam Copeland and Christian Cage and guys like the big beefy guys that don't seem to go anywhere because
that's unfortunate. The likes of Miro, where I feel like yes, he has done better here, better at AEW than he has when he was in WWE as Rusev and watching his wife marry Bobby Lashley, being subjected through strange things like that. But yeah, they are kind of not limbo, but definitely I'm happy to see the likes of like Swerve Strickland getting title shots and hope successful title wins in the near future. Because that's if the people that are putting the work in and have the charisma and have the audience behind them, like don't screw them over. Give them the belt. Don't worry about setting up big title legacies.
Exactly. I think that, and I think that's like the big problem with like your LA Knight is that like the crowd are behind him, so the eyes are on him, and then he hasn't succeeded. So like it's only a matter of time before guys like him, and I think it's happened with Karrion Kross as well. To bring us back to the main topic, it's happened with these guys where they've got a backing, they've got a fan base. They're, you know, folk are excited to see them, and then they lose consistently, and then all of a sudden you're like, actually, you know. And I think LA Knight's probably the big victim of that, and that he starts to become all mouth and no substance, doesn't he? Like all talk and no walk. So it's a shame because it's wrong place, wrong time. LA Knight would have been a superstar 8 years ago. You know what I mean? In WWE, with the same gimmick. If he had the same gimmick on the same platform when WWE was shit in like 2016, 17, he would have walked all over it. You know. Yeah. Anywho, so are you going for the pride in this match?
Yeah, I'm more of a Bobby Lashley guy. I like to see him, and the Street Profits I find entertaining, so I would be happy to see them win.
So I'm going just for the benefit of competition. I'm going for the Final Testament, so that which is such a generic name, like the Judgment Day, the Final Testament, the Book of Eli, the Lincoln,
It's like like they've just fired it into Chat GPT, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, you've just
Name
I
our
use Chat.
stable.
I've been using Chat GPT for podcast intros and podcast descriptions, so I can't complain. But yeah, you could just go like, oh, I'm going to do it just now. Actually, hold on. Let's see if I can get.
Oh, you're going to ask it who wins?
No, like that might be quite interesting actually.
Just copy and paste that, like who wins, and then it just replies.
No, I'm going to go generate. I don't know. I'm not very good at using ChatGPT. My friends are amazing at it. Generate a biblical themed wrestling tag team.
Brother.
The Divine Warriors, Goliath's Fury, Samsung's Strength. These are shit. Sorry, I thought this would have been better. Yeah. They're like ChatGPT's like made the tag team up for me. So It's Goliath and Samson as the Divine Warriors.
Okay. That sounds like a really strong WCW gimmick.
Yeah, that's so like. Oh, is that what Vince Russo was doing in 1999? Just using ChatGPT, like book Nitro, use wrestling.
It was like Back to the Future, and that was his sports. What was the book called?
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like he would just use the internet from the future.
But use biblical terms to create the name. I'm going to do it of 10 wrestling stables. Let's try it this way instead. Sure, here are 10 wrestling stables with biblical theme names: the Seraphim Syndicate, the Leviathan Legion. This is shit. The Jericho Juggernauts, the Zion Zealots.
I'm seeing a lot of alliteration here.
Yeah. The Galilee Gladiators. That's sorry. All right, one more time. Do the same with.
It sounds like a beer league, ice hockey league.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a new division of the XFL. Yeah, it's rubbish. The Sam Phalanx. That's quite good, actually.
Yeah, it's not quite Skynet just yet.
Yeah, it's not. We're totally worried about AI. You're like, I can't get AI to do anything. I tried to get AI to write my spreadsheet for me earlier that I'm using, and it was just like, it actually said we can't do this with WWE, but we can, with the current WWE match schedule. So we're just going to do it with last year's. It was like, that's not what I need. Like, okay,
this is not a respect, like a retrospect. A retrospect, and that's the word, Stuart.
Kirk Angel. No. Okay, so we've got 2 world title matches, obviously, on Sunday as well. So the first one is Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is incredible at the moment, but then so is Seth. Mm-hmm. So this is the one match that I actually have no idea where to call it, because I think
this is the one that we have CM Punk on commentary for as well.
Yeah, CM Punk on commentary,
yeah. Yes. I feel it's time for Big Drew to get his WrestleMania win in front of a live crowd. Yeah. There was like a point in the last year where like, oh man, the heat's dying down on him, but now that he's turned into this ultra heel with this bitchy chip on his shoulder, and he's tired of all cunt, and it's working. Like he's speaking the truth, and he's
that's like, the best.
I deserve more. Yeah,
that's the best thing about his heel character. It's like Magneto in the MCU, or not the MCU, the Marvel comics, where it's like he has a legitimate gripe. Like everyone understands it. He's not been like again, correct me if I'm wrong, but he hasn't said anything that's untrue yet. He's just been an absolute arsehole about it, and obviously, CM Punk getting injured, he didn't like. I think in old school wrestling, he would have paid somebody off to make that injury happen. Whereas now he's just like, no, I had nothing to do with that, but I'm really glad it happened because it means I get an opportunity. Whereas I probably wouldn't have got it if you were about. So
he's like just ultimate shit stirrer. Like he's just there with the pot and the big spoon, just winding everyone up, and like that 3-way promo from last week where it was Punk coming out to talk, then Drew come out to talk, and then Seth Rollins. To be honest, I feel it's Drew's time to get that big win, because I think we're all kind of aware that Seth was dealing with some sort of knee injury.
Yeah.
So he's working through that. So the guy's done good. That's been a really good first title reign for that new belt.
Oh, yeah. Good amount of days. And all that chat as well, and he's done well.
Exactly. Deserves some time off after Mania. And Drew deserves to kind of get the big belt to bring home to Glasgow this summer.
Yeah, exactly. There's that as well. So they announced today at time of recording, so that this morning they announced that we are getting the first premium live event / pay-per-view. I hate calling them premium live events. Yeah. We're getting a pay-per-view in Glasgow in the Hydro, which is amazing. A bit unexpected. I would have thought, I would have thought maybe Hampden or Murrayfield, but
so at least it'll be a guaranteed sellout, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it'll be awful to get tickets though. I think. Like I was really excited.
Yeah, I have already accepted that I'm going to watch it at home and just order like a pizza, get some pals around, and enjoy it for there, because I've got too much going on in June already. Without trying to get this into, but WWE seems to be far more open to doing shows, PLEs around the United Kingdom now. So it probably won't be too long before we get another.
Is it the 21st as well? Did I make that up? Is it 21st?
15th of June, I think.
15th. So I'm in Glasgow on the 14th anyway, because they're going to have the Germany. So it's obviously it's the European, the Euro, whatever they're called, the UEFA, the football. It's the European Championships in football. International European Championships. Apologies, everybody. It's not an official name. Euros.
It's also the Friday night. They're also doing SmackDown in Glasgow.
Yeah.
So SmackDown and then Clash of the Castle on the Saturday. So
in the only major city in in fairness, the biggest city in Scotland, but the only one that doesn't really have a castle.
Yes. So when it's Clash of the Castle, kind of everyone thought Edinburgh, but
I would have thought Murrayfield. To be fair, but my understanding is
that if it's good enough for Taylor Swift.
Well, she's there the week after. She's there the week before, which is one of the reasons why
it probably won't happen.
Saying that, apparently, well, the AEW thing we went to last year was a week after Taylor Swift was at Wembley, and apparently that's why certain sections of the crowd were tapered off the way they had been, because they had to. Basically, Taylor Swift's stuff's so massive that they had to make allowances for her. Well, AEW made allowances for her. Yeah. But anyway, I think I would like to go. I put a wee bit of money aside in the off chance I can get tickets, but I've already seen on my Facebook this morning folk that I like that anger, and I'm like, no, that's you're being a dick. Just relax. But the anger of my friends who used to rip me for loving wrestling are like, oh, who's up for this? And I'm like, come on now. You routinely stuffed my head in toilets when I was 14 for liking this stuff, and you're now going to go to the biggest. I was like,
closet wrestling fans.
Yes.
I was in group chats this morning with my pals, just because we saw rumors of it. I think it was maybe the 31st, but a lot of us saw it on the 1st and thought, April Fool's joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then when it was confirmed this morning, and Glasgow said it, I have preemptively booked the premiere in across the river from the Hydro at a reasonable price, and it's cool. Now I just need to get nosebleed tickets, and then kind of that mad fever's settled, and it's you know what? I didn't need to spend an extra couple £100 this summer.
Yeah.
I could just spend a third of that on a Domino's and then watch it in my house.
Well, yeah, I thought I'm kind of turned towards the same thing. I found myself in this weird situation where I was shuffling pennies around last night because they've announced a music festival in Durham while I'm on my summer holidays that I really fancy, and it's £100 a ticket, and I'm like, oh, that's quite steep. But if I shuffle some things around, I can buy a couple of tickets and see if I can get a pal to go down with me, and then And then they announced Clash at the Castle, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need to get money for that. And I'm like, no, wait a minute, you were just trying to like carefully balance your.
I'm already looking at hotels for like next year's All In. This year's one hasn't even happened yet, but I'm thinking already kind of thinking ahead because the hotel websites are now starting to look at August and like, oh, now's the time. Now's the time to get in. Quickly get that hotel booked in case I want to go to a pay-per-view next year. But
it's just exciting. It's exciting that wrestling's going that way as well, though. Like last year, we had the biggest wrestling event of all time in London, and then we also had the biggest paid wrestling event of all time in London. Sorry, I should say. And then we had Money in the Bank as well. It's just great that this is happening now. Don't get me wrong. So Clash of the Clyde doesn't have the same ring as Clash of the Castles.
I would watch it though.
I would still watch it, and I don't think anybody would.
I think what's your? Right. It's ICW that have, like as the Glasgow scene. They should totally do Clash at the Clyde.
No doubt they'll do something on the So I reckon you'll have SmackDown. You'll have SmackDown on a Friday. ICW / Iron Girder / so Wrestle Experience is the other company, and then Grado's got one. I can see the garage getting booked for ICW on the Saturday afternoon or the Sunday evening, so that like folk can
maybe haven't they done like a late Friday night? Well, the following like a show somewhere, they then did a show on the back of that.
Yeah, but that's I think lots of people would go to Clash of the Castle and then walk up to the garage anyway, because that's like one of the closest nightclubs. But B, if you're out for a night in Glasgow, I've done it. I've been to gigs in Hydro. I mean, like we'll go to the garage to like finish the night. So it's an easy choice. But yeah, I think you're totally right. That's a really good point. Drew having the title for a pay-per-view in Scotland is quite quite prophetic. Yeah, I think that probably they could have done with not announcing that for a week and actually having Drew.
Exactly, have him announce it. Like have him announce it on like
Monday after
the Raw after Mania or something.
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm now going to I'm taking this to the Hydro. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wonder why they didn't do that. Who knows? That's it. So yeah, I think that's it. That's good. And then hold on, I'm in the wrong window. We've got the main event of the entire year. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship, despite the fact that there is another world title match on the same card. We're still calling this title undisputed. But yeah, Roman Reigns is wrestling Cody Rhodes. Thoughts?
the title, like the title has to change hands. Like it's to the point now where last year I would have bet money to say that it's Cody's time. Roman's had it great. He's been eating well, and yeah, right enough. Like he's continued to kind of get better as the years gone on. But God, I was frustrated by the time we got to SummerSlam, and he still Solo's ran in, or Jimmy's betrayed Jay, or just some nonsense to stop the title for changing hands. So it feels like now's the time, if not never.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. I sat at length on Saturday and explained this. I was like trying to explain like how significant like finishing the story was, and like the history of Stardust and AEW's formation, and like Roman, like and they played about with it last night in Raw, where they were talking about like, I think Roman said something like, I built this dynasty while you went away and fucked off and did like nothing.
Nothing.
Obviously, we all know that he didn't do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we know that's not the case. We know that like Cody Rhodes went off, and I think they're playing on that quite a lot, in that like the idea that all his achievements, which were significant, are worth nothing because he hasn't got the universal strap. So
yeah, the big one. Right, I'm going to go for the.
So I think
it's happened. I'm throwing up the tea or
no worries.
So you could
No worries.
just
I'll
for a minute.
I'll just do some blogging.
You could talk to the other Stuart whilst I go to quickly evacuate.
Oh, thanks for that, man. So we've got So Stu's and Cody. I was going to hold off, Stuart, but so I'll put this on the comments. Thank you, Stuart, for helping me sculpt the podcast. Do you see Cena and Austin make an appearance? So we have let's see if I can have 2 seconds. So we have I have an extra window open. I'll see if I can share it with you guys, and I'll add you to this as well, Stuart, and anyone else in the comments who's like, yeah, please include me in this. So this is our spreadsheet, and I've got all the matches. I think we're all agreeing on Cody, so I'll put that in there just now. What I'll do is I'll I'll add you, Stuart, and then I'll make the picks like red or green based on who won. So my 2 fan predictions are R-Truth's going to hook up the Priest briefcase or do something silly like getting the match mixed up. My other one is the portal scene. So for anyone that doesn't know what the portal scene is, the portal scene in MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that scene where the portals opened up in Endgame and Captain America initially standing on his own against like all of Thanos's like army gets joined by all the other Avengers, and then they do like the big Avengers Assemble moment. I hope we get something very, very similar with Night 2. I was just saying this is my second fan prediction, inspired by Stuart's question in the comments. Do you see Austin and Cena making an appearance? I hope, and this is my fan prediction, we get Cena and Austin. I also hope that Jay shows up. Jay also shows up. Kevin and Sammy come out. Technically, Drew could do it as well because he's also been fallen victim. LA Knight has fallen victim to the bloodline. There's other guys that we can't talk about who have fallen victim to the bloodline that are now no longer with us, having eradicated from WWE history that we can't include. But I think it'd be really cool. We had this kind of portal scene where basically everybody shows up and we get that and then that's basically I don't know what the bloodline rules matches are, and I assume it's just about like it'd be like no DQ. So I think that'd be just this amazing moment where that's how you get rid of The Rock. You know, the final boss, you basically have to have everybody there and have this big massive tussle. Stone Cold stunners The Rock, Cena then AA's Roman, you know, all that nonsense will happen.
Yeah.
Everyone will do their finishers on everyone else, and then you'll have Cody and Roman at the end, and then we'll get a Cody win. So that's my second fan prediction, is we get some form of the portal scene from Avengers Endgame.
In my head, whenever you have The Rock being like a significant part of that Attitude Era, the opponent in my eyes that's always standing across from him is Triple H. Is there a chance we see him coming down with a gorilla, taking like his glasses off, the suit jacket off, and just fuck it, I'm just going to pedigree this cunt to get him out our rods and get on with the show?
That's an interesting point, because we don't, Triple H usually does something, doesn't he? Even if it's to come out and announce attendance, he'll
there's always something, because it's the same with Austin, as you said, like those moments where Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and like The Rock, and they come out, one of them will get the name of the arena wrong, they announce the numbers, a couple stunners, and everyone's happy.
I think that's the way you beat the bloodline, is like, I think that's the obvious storyline, and I've seen it online, and you've like obviously Stuart's asking it as well. You've seen it online. I've seen other places call it the portal scene, and I'm like, I want that to be my prediction, because that would be awesome. Just folk, and Seth Rollins emerged from the crowd yesterday in Raw so that he didn't get jumped by the bloodline.
Okay,
they were referencing it as being like, oh, he's doing the Shield entrance, and then he said, no, I'm not stupid enough to like not know. Like, if I come out the front, I'll come out the front, so I'll come out of the the crowd, and you can't jump me, basically. That's just saying he's sure Triple H had a heart issue that's forced him to retire. Yeah, I think he has. I reckon he's talking about in claw.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I used to Sledgehammer used to always annoy me because he never hit anyone with it. Like, not that I wanted
always,
him to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want him to murder someone, but he's like, you're covering it with your hands. Surely your hands bloody killing you. After using that as the middle man. But
and then actually, like, just use a different weapon. Use a different weapon that you can hit someone with, and it be sore, rather than something that's so legitimately mental that like you're never actually gonna be able to swing it and hit someone with it. So, Damian Priest, is he going to cash in on anyone? Stuart's asking. I don't think so. I think maybe Backlash, or whatever it's called now, WrestleMania Backlash, or
will it be like what? Because wasn't WrestleMania Backlash like exactly 1 week after WrestleMania last time, like maybe 2 years ago? Because Backlash last year was in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico one, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but it was. I felt like it was smart just to kind of go to a different market for it. But
I like that they're going to different markets, and obviously it means like, well, last year we got or in the last 12 months we've had 2 pay-per-views that we didn't have to stay up till 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the morning for, because they were held in different markets. So we could watch it. We could watch Money in the Bank because it was tea time our time, and we could watch Elimination Chamber because it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was brilliant. Like having my breakfast watching wrestling. So I think we got one in Germany this year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's something in Berlin, isn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously the one at the Hydro. So yeah, so it's good.
So yes, more of that.
They're calling Raw on Monday WrestleMania Raw. It's interesting.
I guess it's just sort of like the go home show.
Yeah,
because like, so we got WrestleMania week. So everything that happens this week
is great as well, though, because you get all the NXT call ups and stuff, don't you? So okay, so I added Cody to both our choices there. I assume we both want Cody to win.
Yes.
Okay. So have you thought about any fan predictions? I feel like we need to write chloroform in here, and if chloroform gets
gold
used
dust
at the point of the weekend
with a chloroform rag.
Chloroform. I'm just going to chloroform, and if chloroform gets mentioned in commentary, or if somebody uses it,
exactly. Like, sure, even if it's just Dom using it on his dad, like I'll take it.
Chloroform. Okay. And what's your other fan choice? What's your?
It's got to be something to do with the main event. I felt like I did have a good idea earlier, but the cloud cover has covered my side of my brain.
It's quite clever. It's clever advertising, isn't it? It's just like fogging everything that we've been.
Yes, it's hazy almost. But no, yeah, I feel like personally, I don't think the portals thing will happen in the main event, or it'll happen. I don't see it happening.
We're going to have a debate about that when it does, because like I think
it sounds like it'll be great. It does sound like, how do you beat the bloodline? Yes, but
I think it'll come down next week when we talk about it. I think it'll come down to how much of because actually I think there will be interferences from people outside of on in Cody's defense. I think we'll get interference, but whether that it constitutes the portal scene or not is probably
but really interesting podcasting. I don't stand here watch my beard grow longer.
How do we think? Is there anything else? I really like this weekend, just in general. Because it's not really a weekend.
There's so much going on in the wrestling world, because on Friday you also have Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor.
It's looking baller, it's so good.
So I know you've got Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe wrestling, so I look forward to that. That's probably going to be something to watch on Saturday, maybe post beer festival.
We've got that on Saturday as well.
Bleary-eyed, kebab in hands, watching Eddie Kingston throw backhands at the Kung Fu Chicken. But
I had a look at it today, because I knew we'd be quite interested. So I've got for anyone that's interested, sorry, I don't know why I got my phone up on my screen like that. For anyone that's interested, if you sign up to Triller TV, which was formerly Fight,
yeah.
you get a 7-day free trial this
Okay.
week. So for what's called Fight TV or Triller TV Plus, it used to be Fight TV Plus.
Yeah.
And this is what so I'm totally aware, obviously, that I'm totally aware that that doesn't cover things like the Ring of Honor pay-per-view and New Japan. I think Impact have got stuff going on as well. And obviously, if you're in Philadelphia as well, you can go to things like the Cutaholic guys and the What Culture guys, who are both British wrestling podcasts that I really like. They're both doing things as well.
Okay.
But if you're if you're just going off Triller, you're getting a Defy pay-per-view at 4 p.m. on Thursday, which has been headlined by Kenta defending the Defy World Championship. We're getting at 9 o'clock on Thursday, so I'm going to be trying to rush away from the podcast as quick as possible. You've got probably my favorite pay-per-view that's not part of WWE is Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is on at 9.
Okay.
And
Shayna Baszler match. Yeah.
And then we've got throughout the night
GCW in there.
It's GCW that run Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Okay, because I know Danhausen and Nick Gage have a match soon.
So you've got DDT, who are the Dynamic Dream Team. They're kind of the joke promotion from Japan. Game Changer Wrestling are putting on a show for them called DDT Goes Philadelphia at 1 a.m. on Friday morning. Then we've got GCW versus GCW/JCW versus the World at 5 a.m. on Friday morning. I will see if I can bring up the event thing. That may be the one you're thinking of. They've got no, it's not that one. They've got a Team Dragon Gate versus Los Desperados team. They've got the TJGP, who are the all women Tokyo Japanese Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. So it's like an all women's promotion. You've just got loads of stuff. If you've got Triller TV Plus, you can be watching wrestling every 3 hours from live wrestling every 3 hours from 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. And you've got Joey Janela Spring Break, which is the one I think that is the one you're thinking of. That's got
sounds right.
Yeah, you just got so much stuff on. And it's on So there's even just if you had that 5-day free trial, you get 12 free live wrestling events. And then
exactly. That's a good deal.
Yeah, okay. So Stu's been chatting away. He was saying, what wrestler or faction do you think will come out with a live band? I think they've announced 2 live acts, but I don't know who either of them are.
Rhea Ripley, I could imagine.
Who did you say there, sorry? Did you?
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Who does her tune? Has she got a band?
I couldn't tell you, but I feel like it's or maybe it's happened already. Maybe that was last year. I feel like her coming out to live music isn't a stretch.
There was somebody that said there was a who was it? There was one of the I think one of the women's roster was pitching for somebody to on our Twitter.
Would there be a choir singing for Roman Reigns?
Yeah, that might be a shout. Or Seth. Whoa, they've done that already, haven't they? Where he has a choir
possibly.
Going,
yeah, and then the crowd take over anyway. So,
or maybe Downstate will come out and do Kingdom Live.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say who does Cody's. Drew's would be a bit simple. Somebody with bagpipes.
Who do you think, Stuart? Who have you got? I'm trying to think who else. I do know that there's live acts playing at WrestleMania this year, but I don't know who they are.
I can't figure out how we could fit Kid Rock into this. Or Fred Durst.
Rage Against the Machine. Did you see the Rage Against the Machine doing America the Beautiful? It was WrestleMania 98 or something. It's fucking horrible. I love Rage Against the Machine. Had some really my friends Tom, friends Tom and Jamie. They have a podcast called The Chronicles Podcast, and they interview really interesting folk every week. Everyone should check out the Chronicles. They've been guests on our podcast like during lockdown. Tom and Jamie are awesome, and they get some really interesting guests, like because they just farm out to anybody who might be interested in performing, like anybody. So they've had like the dress, the folk that run the dress, I don't know what it's called, like the wardrobe is what I was thinking of. The head wardrobe assistant on Sons of Anarchy they've had on. They've had lots of lead singers of metal bands that are massive that I don't know because metal's not my thing. But they've got the lead singer of they got Jared, the lead singer of Bowling for Soup.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a really fun podcast actually. And when they were talking to him, he was Bowling for Soup were supposed to play Becky Lynch in at the Wrestlemania that was cancelled because of COVID, and it was that horrible one in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
And that's one of those like big what ifs for me. I'm like, I would have loved to have seen Bowling for Soup. At WrestleMania. But, I don't know who's got like decent bands performing their.
Their entrance. Aye.
Downstate playing at Kingdom, but I think they've done that already. They might have done that in AEW.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the only one I can think. They did it for Cody. I'm sure they've done it for Cody before. Other than that, I can't really think. Snoop Dogg bringing out Sasha Banks was a personal favourite.
Aye, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was is he not like her cousin or something?
I think Snoop's her uncle, possibly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be something like that. It's amazing. We've got like 23 folk watching us right now. I don't think I've ever had 23. Yeah. Hi. Also, either Bailey or Rock Roman on night one. I'm trying to think who would. Were you saying like Roman Reigns got like a band that plays for him, or they could get one, couldn't they?
Not really, and unless because The Rock is just him saying his catchphrase.
His new remix of his track's amazing, actually.
Where like the first 10-15 seconds is normal, and then it changes up. I saw like the entrance where it's like the final boss, and lots of like glossing over images of him and all these waistcoats that he's managed to pull back from that Attitude Era.
Yeah, totally. So good. So good. Bailey, like actually that's a good shout actually. If they get I don't know who does Bailey's like old tune, but if they could get a band in that there ain't no stopping us now. That would be quite fun. That would get the crowd popping like fuck actually. If they just got like a pop punk band like I don't know Twin Atlantic or somebody did it. So like just kind of poppy and funky.
Yeah.
But I'm totally excited. What are you looking forward to? So we mentioned a lot there. So you mentioned Ring of Honor. Is there anything outside? We've got 10 minutes. So if anyone's got anything else they want to chat, please drop in the comments. We'll read them out. But is there anything other than like the night one and night two of WrestleMania that you're bouncing about this weekend? Because I get really excited.
Probably just Ring of Honor. Just because it's like, it gives me like a pay-per-view each day. So I could kind of watch because I can never stay up nowadays. So yes, I would be watching Supercard on Saturday, night one on Sunday, and night two on Monday. And it's funny, I remember last year at this time, I started a new job on the Monday, like the night after WrestleMania. I thought, I'm going to have to get through my first day at work and not think or look at the results to Mania until I finish at 5 o'clock. And
it's horrible.
The muscle memory of tapping on Facebook, tapping on Twitter, tapping on like Reddit, and just hoping you don't because like in my head clearly Cody's won the belt. He has it by now, and just thinking,
knowing it's happened, and then you
all I need to do is get my pizza from Asda's on the way home, and then sit and watch because they've not been too long, haven't it? It's been like 2 nights of like 3 hours.
3 and a bit 4 hours. Like it's whereas before when it used to be like a 2-hour pre-show and then like 5 hours. It was like 6 o'clock by the time it was done. Fucking horrible.
So yes, I'm always watching it on a delay. But I guess, yeah. So there's nothing else. Like I'll do my best catch up with the likes of Dynamite because that's late on a Friday night on ITV4. So
Yeah.
I'll have that recorded, and I usually try and watch that over the weekend. But it's such a busy weekend coming up anyway.
So busy.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that. I'm going to be getting the Triller Plus, and even then, it's just like there's just so much going on. Like, and then outside of that, you've got other. We were saying earlier, there's so many other companies. TNA Rebellion, is that happening in? No, that's the end of the year. That's the end of the month. Sorry. The TNA did a big show last year as well. Did they not do like TNA versus New Japan?
Definitely along those lines, yeah.
But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to. I'm really excited. Supercard of Honor is always good fun. It's like an AEW light podcast. AEW light.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like, oh, these are the guys that should be on the main show.
Yeah.
Athena, and that people should. But
I really want Shayna Baszler. She's doing she's taking part in a 4 women. So the way Bloodsport works is it's like a straight out knockout tournament with a winner at the end, like an 8-man tournament. But this year, for the first time, they're doing a 4 women tournament, which is what Shayna's taking part in. So I'd like to just see her beat up 2 people really badly because she's excellent.
Yeah.
Again, she's a victim again. Shayna's I really like Shayna. She's a victim of like an overcrowded women's division.
And I mean, when they brought her up, they tried to turn her into a vampire. And then she just bites Becky's neck.
Rather than like an insane MMA fighter who really likes Warhammer. That was cool. I was quite happy with that as her gimmick. She comes out and stuff, and I'm like, she's like quite like being on like X when she comes out, and folk are like, oh, what's her ring gear reference to, and folk are like debating it. And I'm like, well, you'll find it's she's wearing ultramarine space marine armor from Warhammer 40,000 or Chaos. She's wearing a Chaos Demons inspired outfit today, and she just apparently really fucking loves Warhammer 40,000. So.
There you go. It's good. I love it when wrestlers can incorporate like their interest into their ring gear. Like New Day were very good for that.
Pancakes.
Yes.
I think it's pretty good. Obviously, like Sami Zayn, this whole ska punk thing.
Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, that was
stand out for the rest.
Totally. But I think that's us. Are you total buzzing? Total excited?
I know. I'm ready to go watch some wrestling. I think maybe a couple of nights before Collision popped up on ITV4, but I'm really looking forward to watching Adam Copeland versus Matt Cardona.
Oh yeah,
that happened on Saturday.
Yeah, it's on. Is it on now? Like you can go and watch it now.
I could watch on YouTube, but I'm old fashioned and just let it record on the telly on the TiVo box, and then I'll watch it.
I thought it was on the ITV player now because it was
probably. I think it has to air on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night first.
Okay.
But yeah. Should we come back in like a week and do a recap?
I think so. I would love that. We have to go through the scores. We have to work out who called it. But yeah, an absolute recap I think would be amazing. It'd be good fun. I've really enjoyed this chat tonight, so we'd love to come back, man.
Perfect.
We will. If folk have really enjoyed this, like as I say, we've had loads of folk watching, which has been great. We'd love to like see what everyone's thoughts were, and so please come back next week and please put your predictions in our comments if you're watching this after we go live, and I'll add you to our wee spreadsheet, and we can announce the winners as well. So of that,
chloroform for the win.
Chloroform for the win. Okay, cheers, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Easy, enjoy WrestleMania weekend.